Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Marco Nuyen and I'm a trainer at Microsoft. This video is part of a series of videos about the role of a Microsoft cybersecurity architect. In this video, we will discuss aspects of endpoints. The content of this video is mostly aligned with the area of solutions for infrastructure from a certification perspective. So a question, how do we control the endpoints? How do we control endpoints? That's the main question we should think of. There are so many and every one of them is an opportunity for an attacker. What we want to discuss is how to secure endpoints, what kind of endpoints there are and what are capabilities. Zero Trust, 6 technology pillars and 3 principles, and we could argue whether there's a 7th pillar about visibility, automation, orchestration. But as one of our tasks as a cybersecurity architect, it's to ensure that all these pillars and elements get coverage and that we bring everything together. For now, our focus is on the endpoint. When an identity has been granted access to a resource, data can flow to a variety of different endpoints, from IoT devices to smartphones to bring your own devices, to partner-managed devices, and on-premises workloads to cloud-hosted servers. This diversity creates a massive attack surface. There typically are many devices, and we need to get that under control. We need to make the risk acceptable, and we need to get data from the endpoints to be included in the overall analysis. A recurring benchmark is the Microsoft Cloud Security Benchmark, the MCSB. The MCSB has several places where it pays attention to endpoints. Endpoint security is the most prominent control that does this, but there are other relevant controls as well. What is endpoint security? The one that is directly associated with the endpoints. It's a straightforward process. First, create something on the endpoint, install some protection. Second, use something that's modern. Third, keep it up to date. From a Microsoft portfolio, that could be Defender for Endpoints. And for endpoints running as infrastructure as a service on cloud solutions, that could be Defender for Service, which basically is based on the same engine, a Defender for Endpoint. But what about other kinds of endpoints, like we are seeing more and more from an IoT and OT perspective, Internet of Things and operational technology? We need to ensure that they are also included in our architectures. And from a portfolio perspective, that could be done through Defender for IoT that we could leverage. We want to understand our systems better so we can secure them, maintain their security, and improve on the security. We want to apply the controls from the MCSB to them. And if we cannot, we may want to exclude them from any interaction. I've looked at some aspects of the endpoint that we should think about. First, what kind of endpoint is it? This is the first question we should answer. A mobile phone is different from a server. An IoT device is different from a laptop. They're all endpoints, but they have very different features and very different dynamics. Besides the size and hardware, what about the operating system? And different operating systems have different capabilities, but they all have the need for updates. That's something they do share. So we need to include update management in our solutions as well. Not updating is falling behind, and it opens up a window of opportunity for attackers if we're not up to date. What if we cannot update, which is common for OT environments where changes are not allowed? And well, we need to know. So we can design and implement it for that situation, finding a way to protect that vulnerability. From an MCSB point of view, this is where we deal with asset management and secure configuration aspects, or network security controls, or MCSB data protection controls. Maybe the device is not suited to handle the kind of data that is sensitive or labeled as critical. Now, not every device will be under our management or control. Not, or maybe not yet, or maybe never. How will you handle that? Bring your own device is a usual situation we see in enterprises. And we see more and more enterprises moving away from that because it's very hard to manage processes and data on a device that you cannot control. That is why the middle acronyms on the slides, where they are relevant. MDM, Mobile Device Management, and MAM, Mobile Application Management. With MDM, we manage the whole device. With MAM, we usually manage an application. MAM, Mobile Application Management, It's often used in situations where a device cannot be managed by the organization, such as when employees bring their own personal devices for work purposes, bring their own device. In this case, MAM allows the organization to separate and secure the work-related application data on a device without affecting the personal apps and data. Are we covered? There are so many capabilities we can start leveraging, some of which we already named. And there's content of that also online and in other videos in this series. Here I'm highlighting an example you'll find in the MCRA. It is the slide that the MCRA started out with to try and bring everything together. And you will find this slide in a downloadable version of the MCRA at aka.ms/MCRA. What I've done here is I've highlighted the areas in this general overview where you will find the most relevance when it comes to securing the endpoints. What we are looking for is a capability that can help us understand and control the endpoints and potentially the environment that they are in. These are some of the capabilities to consider based on the mapping. Defender for Cloud, Cloud Security Posture Management, CSPM, Cloud Workload Protection, CWPP, and which are both covered in another video. Defender for Endpoints, Antivirus, and more. And also endpoint detection and response capabilities and operational management capabilities. We also see Defender for IoT, which helps with discovery and control for IoT and OIT devices. And we see capabilities like SCCM, System Center Configuration Manager, capability to manage systems that are typically in on-premises, or you might call it a private cloud situation. We also see Intune in the diagram, which is cloud-based and is suitable for doing MDM and MAM as we discussed. Next, and probably last for this video, I've got a full slide from the MCRA, so the one that I was using for the highlighting. Use this to think about what endpoints are there and how we can integrate them into our architecture. And as usual for the MCRA, we can use it for heat mapping. Do we have the capability? Are we catering for it? For example, there is IoT and OT. Do you have it covered? If not, get started. Start thinking maybe of using a Defender for that. In the original MCRA slide like this one, there's lots of links also added to the slide that will bring you to related content by clicking on the area in that slide. Very, very useful to quickly understand more. Now, we are at the end for this video. The topics was endpoint and endpoint considerations, and make sure your endpoints are covered in some kind of way and are catered for in your architectures and in your environments. To learn more about specific defenders for endpoints, you can access the Ninja training on Defender for Endpoint and Defender for IoT. I've shown the short links here to those trainings on the slide. There's always more content, there's always more links available, but for this video, we will keep it where we are right now. So thank you for watching the video. Go out and explore, and please stay safe.